إن الحمد لله نحمده تعالى ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله عز وجل، وأحسن الهدى هدى محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. وما قل وكفى خير مما كثر وألهى، وإنما توعدون لآت وما أنتم بمعجزين. ثم أما بعد، أيها المسلمون عباد الله، نحن في شهر الله الذي يدعى المحرم. My brothers and sisters in Islam, this is the month of Allah, Al-Muharram, the first month of the Islamic calendar. As we know, when Umar radiallahu anhu became the Khalifa of the Muslims, he received complaints from his governors in the states. They said that they received letters from him undated. So they asked him to start an Islamic calendar. So Umar radiallahu anhu gathered the companions and asked them their opinions. So some of them said, let's start the Islamic calendar from the birthday of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And some of them said, let's start from the first year the Prophet ﷺ received the revelation. And he received another suggestion to start from the migration of Rasulullah ﷺ from Mecca to Medina. Even he was offered to start the Islamic calendar from the victory of Badr. But Umar radiallahu anhu chose to start from the migration of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Mecca to Medina. Why? Because it was the real beginning of this ummah. It was the real beginning of this ummah. When the ummah started to be able to implement La ilaha illallah as a methodology of life. In Mecca, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was leading a minority. And they were not able to practice their religion freely. There is no freedom of religion in Mecca at that time. And after 13 years of suffering in Mecca, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered the migration. And when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam migrated to Medina, he found himself leading the vast majority of the people in the city. He was the real leader. He was able to put the Quran as the constitution of this land, and to practice La ilaha illallah as a methodology of life. So how Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam founded the community in Medina? The first thing he did alayhi salatu wassalam was the masjid. Imagine the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam entering the city of Medina. Are the people in Medina are in his reception, showing hospitality, greeting the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam while he was on the top of his camel. Every family is trying to grab the camel to their house to show the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam their hospitality. But the Prophet told them, alayhi salatu wassalam, let the camel walk. He said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, innaha ma'mura. So the camel is commanded to stop in the place of the masjid. So the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam on the top of his camel, and the camel is walking to the place of the masjid. So the first time sallallahu alayhi wa sallam stepped in the city of Medina, he knows the place of the masjid. So the Prophet ﷺ got to know the location of the masjid before he got to know where he will sleep this night. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It sends a very important message to the Muslims. Generation after generation, they need to reflect upon that. That the first thing the Prophet ﷺ did in Medina is to put the location of the masjid. The first thing is to build the masjid, because the life of the Muslims is start from the masjid and end in the masjid. And then we all knew that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam established the brotherhood in his community, especially between the immigrants who came from Mecca and the supporters of the city of Yathrib. And then he started the peaceful coexistence agreement with non-Muslims to have a peaceful society. Because peaceful environment is good for the spread of the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Masjid. It is reported in Sahih al-Imam Muslim and narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, أَحَبُّ الْبِلَادِ إِلَى اللَّهِ مَسَاجِدُهَا. The most beloved place in every city, in every village, in every country, the most beloved place to Allah is Al-Masjid. We need to know that Allah Azza wa Jal loves the masjid more than anything in every city. Why? Because the masjid is the house of worship. Allah Azza wa Jal did create the creation to be worshipped. The purpose of existence of the creation is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the masjid is the house of worship. The place that maintain the faith in the hearts of the believers. So the Prophet ﷺ cared about the masjid. It started with the masjid. And you may know that when Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was passing by Quba, he built Masjid Quba in his way to Medina. When he found the gathering of the Muslims in Quba, in the area of Quba, he built for them the masjid in Quba and prayed with them before he entered the city of Yathrib, the city of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It tells us how important to have a masjid. And in this masjid, to establish strong brotherhood. And in the society, to have a strong, peaceful coexistence agreement. To be able in this peaceful environment to deliver the message of Allah and the guidance of Allah to everyone. Allah Azza wa Jalla said in the Quran, وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ فَلَا تَدْعُوا مَعَ اللَّهِ أَحَدًا. Al-Masajid, the houses of worship, belong to Allah. So do not invoke beside Him anything. Invoke Him alone in His houses, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we, as the Muslims who live in the West, we knew the importance of the masjid more than anyone else. Maybe in the Muslim countries, they have departments that lead the life of people. But here in the West, the Muslims don't have except the masjid. The masjid is everything for them. The masjid is the place of prayer. And the school and the university for Islamic knowledge is the center that they move politically from. This is the court. When we have dispute, we come here for arbitration. We raise our kids in the masjid. So the masjid is everything for us. Allah testified for those who build the masajid and care about the masajid. He testified for their iman. Allah Azza wa Jalla said in Surah At-Tawbah, إنما يعمر مساجد الله من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وأقام الصلاة وآتى الزكاة وَلَمْ يَخْشَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ فَعَسَى أُولَئِكَ أَن يَكُونُوا مِنَ الْمُهْتَدِينَ. So Allah Azza wa Jal testified, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who is better witness to testify than Allah Azza wa Jal? Allah said, subhanahu wa ta'ala, إِنَّمَا يَعْمُرُ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ. Indeed, those who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the last day and establish prayers and pay their zakah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about them, these people who maintain al-masajid and build al-masajid and care about it, these people are the true believers, the truthful Muslims. They care about the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the center of da'wah here in the West is the masjid. Not only place of worship, center of da'wah to deliver the kalimah, to deliver the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to everyone. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, إِنَّمَا يَعْمُرُ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ مَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَأَقَامَ الصَّلَاةَ وَآتَى الزَّكَاةَ وَلَمْ يَخْشَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Those who don't fear anything except Allah. فَعَسَى أُولَٰئِكَ أَن يَكُونُوا مِنَ الْمُهْتَدِينَ وَكُلُّ عَسَى فِي الْقُرْآنِ وَاجِبًا. So Allah testified for them that these people are the truthful believers, the real believers. So maintaining al-masajid is two different types. Number one is to build the masjid physically. Those who sacrifice their money to build the masajid. The Prophet said about them, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in hadith, reported in Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim, narrated by Uthman ibn Affan radiyallahu anhu. He said, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من بنى بيتا لله يبتغي بذلك وجه الله بنى الله له به بيتا في الجنة. Whoever builds house for Allah to be worshipped in it, seeking the reward of Allah. He's not doing it to show off. He's not doing it for any worldly gain. He's doing it only to please Allah, seeking His reward. Allah will build a house for him in Jannah. The reward is house in Jannah. And if a person has an address in Jannah, that means he will live in his house. Because Allah is fair. He will never prevent you from living in your house. If Allah rewarded your house in Jannah, that means He will allow you to enter Jannah, to live in your house. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the physical maintenance. Is to build the house, to put the roof and the walls. And in the same time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deals with us the way we deal with Him. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-jaza'u min jinsi al-amal. The repayment is from the same nature of our actions. So when we care about the houses of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show us His support in our houses. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. We will experience the support of Allah, the presence of Allah in our houses. Because we cared about His house, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He subhanahu wa ta'ala taught us that al-jaza' min jins al-amal. هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان. So when we care about the houses of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cares about our houses. And He shows us His support. He makes us to experience His support to us, subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the physical maintenance. And the non-physical maintenance is when you come to the masjid to worship Allah in it, to bow and prostrate and recite the remembrance of Allah and deliver the da'wah, deliver the message to others. This is non-material maintenance to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In this type of maintenance, our Prophet said, alayhi salatu wassalam, to the companions, the Prophet said, هل أدلكم على ما يمحو الله به الخطايا ويرفع به الدرجات? Do I tell you about what Allah expiates your sins with and elevates your degrees in Jannah with? So the people said, Bala Rasulullah, yes, O Messenger of Allah, tell us. So the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wassalam, إسباغ الوضوء على المكاره وكثرة الخطى إلى المساجد وانتظار الصلاة بعد الصلاة. So the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wassalam, إسباغ الوضوء على المكاره. When you perfect your ablution, when you perfect your wudu, your purification for the worship of Allah, and then you walk a lot back and forth from your house to the house of Allah to worship Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, And he said, وَانْتِظَارُ الصَّلَاةِ بَعْدَ الصَّلَاةِ. When you sit in the masjid from a prayer waiting for the next prayer, because you are afraid to lose the reward of the congregational prayer. The Prophet said, عليه الصلاة والسلام, فَذَلِكُمُ الرِّبَاطِ فَذَلِكُمُ الرِّبَاطِ فَذَلِكُمُ الرِّبَاطِ. So this is like a ribat. You gain the reward of a ribat when you come to the masjid and pray the prayer and then stay in the masjid until the next prayer if you are able to do so. So you get the reward of ribat. Who is the murabit? Or what is a ribat? A ribat is the person who work as a border guard, the border protection officers who stand at the border of the country for its protection. So the person who is staying in the masjid from prayer to prayer, he is standing as a guard for the protection of his own reward, keeping the remembrance of Allah in the masjid. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to maximize the masajid in our hearts, to increase the love of the masajid and the care about the masajid in our heart, and to benefit us from our masajid. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه سميع قريب مجيب. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد, my brothers and sisters, you may heard about the burning down of Masjid al-Tawheed of Jersey City, New Jersey in 2014. Masjid Tawheed was burned down in 2014. And the community there struggled for years to rebuild the masjid. And by the support of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by his favor upon us, we were able to rebuild the masjid with a budget of $5 million, 3-story masjid. Alhamdulillah, in this masjid, in these 3 floors, we may have over 2,700 or 800 people praying Jum'ah in the masjid. Well, alhamdulillah. And the masjid is known to most of you, one of the biggest masajid in New Jersey State. And the masjid, walillahi alhamd, finished, but still owes people money, finished with a debt. The board of the masjid needed to take loans to be able to finish. And now this loan is due. They need to pay the people their money back. And it is a door still open for those who want to invest with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this masjid. You know, in the masajid, when you have an imam, if he is sincere, leading the salah according to the sunnah of the Prophet, he will get the reward of imamah only. And the muaddin gets the reward of adhan. And the administrator gets the reward of the administrative work, and so on and so forth. Even the one who cleans the masjid, he gets the reward of cleaning the masjid. And the one who gets a share from all this job is the one who built the masjid and caused the existence of the masjid. When you support a masjid and invest some of your money with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, every time the muaddin makes adhan, you get your share. Every time a khatib delivers a khutbah, you get your share. Every time a scholar or teacher teaching a class, you get your share. Every time somebody is reciting a verse or reciting the remembrance of Allah, you get your share. It is the best investment ever, wallahi, when you invest in the masjid. Not only in your lifetime that will deliver blessing to your life, even after your death. It is an ongoing charity. We all knew when we die, we will be in our graves. And the Prophet said, alayhi salam, that the believers in their graves will see their place in Jannah twice a day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will allow the believer in his grave to see his level in Jannah, his reward in Jannah twice a day, bil-ghudu wal-asal, in the morning and afternoon. You may see your degree in Jannah in a level, and then when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows you your place in Jannah again, you will see that your degree in Jannah is elevated. So the deceased in his grave will ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how my degree in Jannah is elevated? So the answer will be because of your ongoing charity, because of the supplication of your righteous son, because of the beneficial knowledge that you left behind and the legacy that you left behind. So imagine you will be sleeping in your grave and your hasanat is still recorded because you left behind the masjid and the people still benefited from this masjid. So my brothers, we came here to appeal to you, to ask you to invest some of your money in the rebuilding of Masjid Tawheed. Show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you care about his houses. Show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you care about your Muslim brothers there, and invest for your own benefit in dunya and akhirah in very big project like this. If you come in Ramadan or come in Jum'ah prayer and see the amount of Muslims in the masjid, how big the crowd, and think that you'll get a share from the prayer of every single person in the masjid, you will never miss this opportunity. So your brothers will be standing inshallah ta'ala at the entrance of the masjid after the salah. Show your support and give for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing that whatever you give for the sake of Allah will be replaced, will be returned back to you, as Allah promised in the Quran, وَمَا أَنفَقْتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَهُوَ يُخْلِفُهُ وَهُوَ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ. Whatever you spend for the sake of Allah, Allah will replace it. And an authentic hadith, holy hadith, narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, reported in Sahih Bukhari, from Allah Azza wa Jalla, hadith Qudsi. In this hadith, the Prophet said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أنفق يا ابن آدم أنفق عليك. Spend, O son of Adam, I will spend upon you. I will sponsor you financially. Imagine if you care about the houses of Allah and spend it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will care about you financially and support you financially. And in the hadith, Prophet Muhammad said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, ما من يوم يصبح العباد فيه إلا ملكان ينزلان يقول أحدهما اللهم أعطي منفقا خلفا ويقول الآخر اللهم أعطي ممسكا تلفا. So every single day in the morning, Allah sends two angels. One of them makes dua to those who spend for the sake of Allah, asking Allah to replace their spending, to multiply their spending and return it back to them. And the other one will make dua about those who are cheap, holding their hand back from the spending for the sake of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you the money as test. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask you in the day of judgment how you made the money and how you spent the money. You will be proud of yourself in the day of judgment when you see in your book that you spend the share of your income for the sake of Allah, supporting the houses of Allah, supporting the da'wah of Allah, helping the Muslims to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, relieving them from the burden of the debt. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will relieve you from every distress. أقول قولي هذا وأسأل الله عز وجل أن يغفر لي ولكم أجمعين وأن يهب المسيئين منا للمحسنين. اللهم إنا نسألك أن تغفر لنا ذنوبنا جميعا يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنا نسألك أن ترحمنا برحمتك الواسعة. اللهم أصلح قلوبنا، اللهم اشرح صدورنا، اللهم احفظ فروجنا، اللهم ردنا جميعا إلى دينك مردا جميلا. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك نستغيث، أصلح لنا شأننا كله ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين. اللهم أصلحنا وأزواجنا وأولادنا واجعلنا صالحين مصلحين. اللهم اهدنا ويسر الهدى لنا واهدي أزواجنا وأولادنا واجعلنا هداة مهتدين. اللهم انصر عبادك المستضعفين في كل مكان. اللهم خذ من أوقاتنا وأموالنا وجهودنا حتى ترضى يا سميع الدعاء. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله. أقم الصلاة.